Excuse me. Hi. Excuse me. Hi, Gemini. This is for you. This is TarotLumination.com with Love and Relationship Report for May 2017. Yes, it's a first. It's a first for Tarot Illumination, okay? Because we're still very, very new, okay? But we're branching out. And we discovered here, Tarot Illumination, that a lot of the biggest, deepest pains and sufferings occur in matters of the heart, okay? Especially relationships, especially the lack of the relationship, or the failings, or the flaws, or the wishes in relationships, or whatever it is about relationship. So please, Gemini, if you want a little bit more, what should we call this? A little bit broader perspective about what's going on. Watch for your sun and moon and rising. Okay. Also, please watch the the May overview for all signs, love and relationship, because that deals with a lot of the planets and issues that are going on, which are very tangible, measurable energies. They're very, subjective in terms of interpretation, but they are very exact and measurable. Now here with the tarot, of course, we're doing purely subjective perspectives, all right? So please allow for that, all right? Also, Gemini, we're doing these readings on the understanding that we're trying to deal with significant relationships here, or the desire for one, where it's on the understanding that there is yourself, there is the other relating to you, and then there's everything in between, and then there's the relationship itself, okay? And the relationship itself has its own identity. It's not just all about you, it's just not all about the other. The relationship is literally like a living thing in its own right. And it needs nurture and care, okay? And respect. It responds to all those energies: kindness, compassion, respect. And love grows in the garden of respect, okay? So nurture the relationship, and the relationship will nurture you. So I was shuffling quite a bit earlier, but we're going to do it right up to the very last second. In the context of relationship, I think of it as a crucible where you either consciously or unconsciously subject yourself, sublimate yourself to the relationship for the benefit of your own evolution and the evolution of your significant other. So it's deliberate, and it's on the understanding that it isn't just going to be one perpetual honeymoon. It's going to be work, and there are going to be periods of feeling intense loss and separation, and then periods of intense intimacy and closeness, and everything else in between, and a lot of other stuff that's confusing, but that's all part of the experience to which you have committed yourself. Thing is it deliberate, or is it just happening by accident? Okay? So you'll see it. It'll start to show up in the reading. I'll just do one more little pass here. Did I cover everything? Oh yeah. At the end, we're going to pull one little romance angel card for you, okay? And we're going to read from the book, just for fun, because it adds a little bit of like a topper to the cake, just for fun. And remember, this is very subjective, so you can reinterpret the whole thing however you want, okay, later on. Just go with the flow for now, and read for your moon and rising as well. Please, please, please. It really, really will help you to get a bigger, broader understanding. All right, so here we go. Big fat cuts. That's what we're going for here right now. It just feels that it's the right thing to do. All right. Let's just say this is you. Okay, Gemini? Let's just say this is the other. Okay? This is what's going on deep inside. Whatever this might be, challenges, problems, wishes, dreams, blockages, Revelations, we don't know. And it's the same with the other as well, okay? They have their own journey inside the crucible. The crucible is like a very, very strong bowl or an environment that can tolerate immense pressure for long periods of time. So much so that it almost doesn't matter what you and the other decide to do within this crucible. The crucible will remain intact. That's the theory anyway. Sometimes the crucible falls apart, like a divorce or something. But anyway, we'll see. So this is the cup shape of the crucible. This is you, Gemini. This is the other. And this is the relationship itself. And this is where it all seems to be heading, okay? Or what comes out of it. Let's have a look. And also, in the background, I like to think of this as weather, like we do on the live shows. Sometimes we do like a 3-card quickie spread, but we have a look what's happening, the vibe in the background, like just like the weather outside your front door. It's just there, whatever it is, whether you invited it or not, or whether it's coming right at you. So in your case, Gemini, we have this little card, Justice, but it is a major, so you have to take it seriously, okay? You could feel like it's almost like destined energy, predestined, predetermined, like, did I ask for this? Do I want this? Do I deserve this? Well, we don't know. That's why we're doing these readings. But the energy of this card in this reading is suggesting to me to tell you that justice is served. Justice will be served. But there's no judgment going on here. It's just everybody's going to get what they deserve. Okay? And lo and behold, you start immediately touching on the concepts of karma and how you create your own reality for better or worse. And you can even indulge in negative behavior because it still can be very, very satisfying, even though it's negative. So you have to watch out for that. It's like having these amazing, perfect excuses for everything, so that even when things fall apart, it's still not your fault, Gemini. It was just somebody else. But here in this relationship reading, it is done on the understanding that it isn't just about you or the other. It's about you in the relationship, okay? You both have a relationship, okay? So let's see. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is a good place to be. Gemini, you might have big ambitions. You might want a lot. You might expect a lot. You might feel like you deserve a lot, and that's fine. Or it might be, as you start to evaluate your situation, your relationship, your love life, your other person, that things are coming to the surface, blossoming in ways that you may not have expected. It may be blossoming in ways that are just fine. You may be blossoming in ways that are just fine. They may be blossoming in ways that aren't exactly what you expected. This is a whole like vortex of realization of like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What's actually happening as opposed to what I thought was happening, because it's manifesting right now in tangible, very, very tangible ways. And so it's okay to be here. This is like it's like getting what you deserve. Do you see how we can connect these two here right straight off the bat already? It's like you're becoming aware that you're getting what you deserve, and they are getting what they deserve. And we're not even putting a negative or positive spin on it. We're just coming to the awareness that we create our own reality for better or for worse. And there's almost no better way to learn that or understand that formula, especially in the context of relationship, because it becomes very, very vivid. Like if things are going well, you start to realize like, wow, maybe I had something to do with that. If things aren't going so well, the first thing to do is run away and say, okay, well, it's your fault. And the last thing you're going to do is take responsibility for your part in the equation. Because in these readings, Gemini, we're coming from an understanding that there is a degree of ownership and responsibility in the relationship. It isn't just about what am I getting out of this relationship? What are they getting out of it? What are they trying to get out of me? What am I trying to get out of them? That's just very literally two-dimensional relationships where there's really almost no room or understanding for the concept of we or the concept of us. It's purely selfish, okay? We're not doing that here, okay, Gemini? We're on the understanding that at least you understand there's you, the other, and then there's the relationship. And there's a joint responsibility. But this is your reading, Gemini. All right, what about the other? What's going on with them? Okay, we had this in the same position earlier with another reading. Gemini, this is a slightly different feel for me in this reading. What this is suggesting to me to tell you is that, well, it is similar. I'm sorry. It's like there's an opportunity of truth here, of reckoning, of realization, and it might be very, very profound, like very, very, very new to you, that the truth is blah, 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 fill in the blanks, and that you're very, very lucky to have this person in your life, even if the experience might feel negative to you, dear Gemini, because sometimes the truth needs to be told, the truth needs to be heard, the truth needs to be understood. Now the question is, are you going to accept it? Are you going to allow for the truth? Because the truth is here for you. You might be dealing with someone who is very, very, very much aligned with the energy of truth inside themselves, and they're not shy about expressing the truth or grabbing the opportunity to enjoy the truth in relationships themselves, which they cannot do without subjecting themselves to the same crucible and being in the same bucket with you, where all those sharp edges can be buffed and polished into something beautiful and lovely for both of you. So again, do you see the sword here? Okay, let's just say that's the sword of truth. And here is the big, big fat sword of truth. Like the truth is coming at you, Gemini. And maybe it's time to evaluate and accept this and understand that for better or worse. In other words, we reap what we sow. There's a lot of karma here. Let's put it that way. Okay, but it's no judgment. This is just very neutral. In other words, the card is saying, dear Gemini, it's about time for you to learn and understand through the context of relationship that you get what you deserve. So if all you're trying to do is exploit someone, then eventually you will feel exploited. If you're willing to put in the work and invest in the relationship, if you have ambitions and your desires and goals and expectations that you would like to see fulfilled, and you understand in this current relationship right now that wow, the coolest way to do this might be to understand and accept that this is something that we own and share together. And I am willing, as a Gemini person here, to consider continuing to invest for the long term, because I'm understanding that there could be some great benefits that come from this, especially in terms of my own spiritual evolution, okay? Coming to blinding realizations and truths. So this is an energy of opportunity for you, Gemini. So in May, the energy of opportunity is very, very much on your plate. And it doesn't sound very romantic here, I have to admit. It just doesn't sound romantic at all. But not all relationship dynamics are 24/7 love and honeymoon and dating and making out and just scoring or whatever you want to call it. A lot of the dynamics that occur in relationship, especially a loving relationship where people are committing themselves to each other, a lot of the dynamics are to do with your own spiritual growth and evolution, as well as just material growth. I mean, sometimes it's really great to invest yourself with another. We'll split the mortgage, or I'll help you pay off your college loan, or you do the same for me. I'll do the car payment, and you take care of the credit cards, or something, or something like that. Okay, so you understand it's a group effort. You're both taking care of and supporting each other through the context of relationship. Okay, So let's have a little look deeper here. What's going on? Okay. Well, it's well, that's great. I applaud you, dear Gemini. Maybe you feel like you are taking charge and you intend to be victorious and you're going to make things work out the way you think they should be, the way you would like them to be. And that's very, very, um, uh, that's exciting. I'm happy for you, Gemini. But what I'm also sensing with this is that you might wish to be victorious and you might be feeling victorious, but just kind of don't let it go to your head. This is a very, very strong card, very strong energy to have in this position. And it might indicate that you have felt a sense of lack or misunderstanding or confusion in the area of relationship. And by being willing to continue to invest further and taking the time to reevaluate what's actually going on here and being willing to accept the truth as presented to you and reflected back to you from some significant other, even if it's in ways that might be painful. In other words, sometimes the truth hurts and we have to swallow a bit of pride. The good thing is that I don't think you're taking it too personally if it's painful, and rather you're taking that as this is an opportunity to really, like, through the energy of relationship, in this relationship with this other person, I am bestowed with an opportunity to get what I deserve and really kind of grow and expand in my own life for me. In other words, okay, let's get more specific here. There's you, there's the other, there's the relationship. And inside this crucible of relationship, you might be coming to awareness that by being willing to relate to the other in such a truthful, open, honest, and new way, and accept how things are actually unfolding, it's very, very empowering for you, the individual living inside the relationship. This is very, very good for you. It might not be comfortable, but it makes you feel inspired to want to take charge, be in charge, and grasp the full context of what's happening to you in your life and kind of go for it. No shame here. It is a little bit of it's like it's the energy that's building up before it actually takes off, but that's okay. You have to feel it in your heart. You might not normally operate that way, Gemini, but this is very strong heart energy here, and it has a very healing effect on yourself and others. This relationship, it sounds like, because there's no cup cards here at the moment. There's no heart cards, romance cards, or anything like that. But the energy of the relationship is very, very good for you. It's very, very empowering for you. And the chances are it's going to have a reciprocal benefit for the other half. Okay? In other words, as you come to terms with this relationship and your part in the relationship, you're coming to a realization that it can be very empowering to be willing to surrender yourself to the greater energy of the relationship itself, instead of just relating like this to this, like there's me, there's you. In other words, wow, it's awesome to have a relationship where you can actually play in a safe place with someone who's willing to be there and truthful for you, so you can come to the understandings about how we create our own reality in life, including love and relationship. So that's pretty cool, Gemini. That's pretty cool, kind of on an intellectual level, on an emotional level. So what's going on with them? Oh, wow. Okay, okay, Gemini. So in the context of this relationship, this other person, I'm going to give you my initial spin on it. They may be really struggling to come to terms with the turbulence that might be going on in the relationship. Now remember, in other words, let me just take these away, okay? Let's pretend Okay, it's all about you, and there's the relationship, okay? And then there's the other party, okay? And the other party is part of the relationship, but this is not their reading, okay? This is your reading. But in the context of the relationship, they are dealing with, they are being very honest and open and truthful. Not only that, they are experiencing the sacred opportunity of truth inside themselves. So this is very beneficial for them too, even though it might be uncomfortable or painful at times. But in the process of this, like what you might call spiritual evolution in the context of relationship, the other person feels as though they are having a chance to come into mastery when it comes to the matters of the heart at the most profound level. In other words, um, mastery over the energy of love. Okay, it's not like gushy and romantic stuff. This is understanding what love really is, and sometimes it can be very inconvenient, like staying up extra late because the baby needs feeding, or having to sleep overnight in your car because your kid is lost somewhere and you don't know where they are, and you had to go out looking for them, and you have to dig up huge amounts of compassion and love inside themselves in order to overcome the turbulence and anger that might actually be going along with something that's actually very, very uncomfortable. Okay, so your other person here might be actually very, very uncomfortable in some of what's happening with the relationship, but they have tremendous capacity with love and the ability of love, and they've worked very hard to be there. They're not ashamed to wear the crown and the robes. They're very, very regal in their stature, and they are very, very capable and willing to handle all the turbulence, all this turbulence that goes on in the sea of emotions and love and relationship, and still carry themselves in a very dignified, regal manner that shows that they are balanced and they can retain balance even in the most challenging conditions. So you're very, very lucky, Gemini, to have this other person. In one way or another, you are extremely fortunate to have this person in your relationships. Even if it doesn't make sense in logic, okay? In spirit, they're very good news for you. There's a lot of love here, and it's for the benefit of the relationship. And they may also be growing in the understanding of what really love really is themselves as a result of relating to you. Okay, so this indicates to me a lot of mutually beneficial energy going on here. Uh, we'll see. Let's see where things are heading. What about the status of the relationship itself? Okay, well, it might feel very fated, and that's fine. Why not? If you feel that what is happening with you and your other has a significant energy of like, what the bleep is going on? I'm not really in control here. It just seems to be happening without my approval, and it's just happening. Well, be grateful, okay? Sometimes one of the most generous and loving things you can do is to surrender to the energy of the relationship and allow the relationship to flourish and be what it is, instead of just making it all about you or all about the other. In other words, growing up and maturing, it might be that you're getting what you deserve, but it's just happening in ways that you could never have imagined, okay? And so if it feels like it's out of your control, but good things are still happening, then that would make total sense. Sometimes it's very hard to surrender to the energy of destiny, but you have to also understand and accept that ultimately, the energy of the universe is always working for you, not against you. Even though it might feel that something might be challenging for you, and you're being forced to reevaluate everything and understand how you have created what's going on, consciously or unconsciously. You are part of that. You made that happen. You planted seeds, maybe recently or maybe long ago, that are culminating in what's happening right now. where you have a new chance at a new beginning, new opportunity to understand higher levels of truth through the process of reflection with a significant other. And in the process, it's very good news for both of you. You're both maturing and growing in very significant ways for yourselves, okay? So you both get a lot out of the relationship, okay? Just perhaps in ways that you never understood before or expected. So the status, let's just say the status is very, very, very much favorable for you. And if it feels fated, then fine. Okay, if you don't like the feeling of fate or being destined because it makes you feel like you're not the boss of your life. In other words, if this energy feels very conflicting and challenging towards you in your energy of wanting to be in charge and take charge and succeed in the relationship, and yet there are energies that are even bigger than you, then that could feel uncomfortable. But don't take it personally. Treat that as a gift, okay? And that how can you grow from this, okay? It's all working for you. All the elements of the universe are all working for you. Where's it all heading? See what I mean, dear Gemini? It's almost like it's leading you into a position where it's like, holy jeez, holy uck, what am I? Wow, this is amazing. I didn't know this was possible in the context of a relationship. I'm actually better off in a relationship than just being me. Because in the context of this relationship, I seem to be with someone else who's also potentially enjoying a mutually beneficial experience in their own way. In other words, all this stuff, that's their business. But it's happening in the context of this amazingly powerful and fated and predetermined relationship that will allow both of you to come to much higher levels of understanding and awareness, not only of yourselves and each other, but of the whole energy and the whole dynamics of relationship, which allows you to become much more of the boss in your own lives, each of you individually, but especially you, Gemini, because this is your reading. It allows you to become the creator of your own destiny in ways that you never knew existed before. I mean, it's like, jeepers, who knew? I didn't even know this kind of stuff was possible in the context of relationship. This feels really, really cool. Look at me now. Look what I can do. Look who I am. Look what I can be. I didn't know I had that much power, that much capability. But just be very, very careful, Gemini, because, again, we've said this before, with great power comes great responsibility, okay? So you don't want to go crazy with that stuff. Be very, very responsible. Keep this posture of evaluation. Constantly be very, very diligent in how you proceed through life relationship this May, so that once you start tapping into your power and you come to the full realization, perhaps this may feel much more evident around the time of the full moon, around early May, like I think it's the 10th or 11th, you might really start to feel this little card for real, okay? So that's really, really wonderful, Gemini. I'm kind of jealous, honestly. All right, let's have a look. I said I would give you a little romance card, so we're going to do that. This is an angel. This is this is Doreen Virtue's Romance Angel deck, and there's no substitute. There's tons of oracle cards out there, but this one is very, very specific to love and relationships, so that's why we're kind of going for it. It's a new thing for Tarot Illumination, so don't set your expectations too high. Little tiny Tarot Illumination is here doing the best we can, and we don't want to oversell or overstate things here. We're just trying to provide a service for you so that you can have a better, happier life when it comes to love and relationship. So, in case I forget, read for your sun, moon, and rising. Watch the little overview tape recording earlier to get the bigger picture, okay? Any moment now. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do one big fat semi-cut here. Okay, now we're going to Pull it through. I'm going to pull something out of the middle, not the ends. I'm going to skim right through. Okay, I thought I had it. I don't know. I wasn't... Hold on, let me go through this again. I'll feel it in a minute. I got it. I got it. I got it. It's weird how this happens, isn't it? It's absolutely freaky what happens in tarot. I gotta tell you. When I see it and feel it from this end here, it really blows my mind. So what have we got? Okay, this is the ultimate recipe, people. For you Geminis in particular, love yourself first, okay? It's very, very, very important, okay? No more juggling acts, no more balancing acts, no more giving away your power as a way to manipulate a situation. Love you first, okay? Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive, okay? It's really, really true. It might sound very contradictory, like very selfish self-centeredness, but if you are truly a very self-loving person and you really do love yourself first, and you are not willing to put up with BS or crap or lies or betrayal or treachery or deceit or bogus this, fake that, you become much more attractive to people who are much more attractive, if that makes sense. Okay? Because you radiate love. Love you first. In other words, like we do on the shows, on the live shows, be loving, be loved. And love yourself first. Take it to the next step. I am loving, I am loved. I am loving, I am loved. I love myself. I truly, truly, truly love myself. Okay? Love you first. All right, let's read from the little book. See what this says. I've got it. And I'm almost there. Here we go. Okay, pretend this is like a little bedtime story. Dear Gemini, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. If you desire more romance, first look at yourself in a caring and non-critical way, of course. The more you love who you are, the greater your capacity to feel loved by others. This means trusting yourself to take good care of you. You. And it may entail becoming more assertive, being willing to say no. I don't put up with BS anymore, okay? I like the truth. Don't worry, you can still be very lovable while affirming your boundaries. Perhaps this means spending some time alone instead of constantly being immersed in relationship. During this period, you can delve into introspection to understand the patterns of your love life. Ultimately, you can take responsibility for attracting and agreeing to every relationship dynamic you've had and the part that you played in it. To heal your heart, find the blessing and lessons you gained from each relationship. For instance, have you become stronger, more independent, or more patient as a result of your prior relationships? If so, let everything else from the past go except for the good lessons and the love. Okay? We evolve this way. That's how I'm feeling it. That's how we evolve. Love you first. This card emphasizes the importance of loving yourself first, especially as you prepare for your next relationship or heal the existing relationship that you're in. As you gain self-respect, you'll begin attracting more loving people into your life. This will lead to healthy friendships and romances based on mutual respect. Okay? It's sometimes very, very hard for people to understand the lesson of self-love. But it's here for you. All right, Gemini? So make the best of it. Have a super May. Understand that all the energies are working for you. Okay? It's all good for you. Thank you, Gemini. Bye.